What's going on, guys? No One Wired here, back again. YouTube, I'm back. I'm here. I never left, really. Maybe I forgot my password. Maybe I didn't. Either way, today we're going to be working on the Lexus. It's been such a long time. I know I've kept you guys in suspense. I hope everyone's doing all right out there. I've got more gray hairs in my beard now because I'm an old man. But anyway, I'm excited to work on the Lexus. As you guys know, well, maybe you don't know if you didn't read my post, but I've been waiting for something from BC Racing. It actually got here probably like maybe 2 weeks ago, but it's just been sitting because I've just been super busy working on everything else but my own stuff. So I have worked a little bit on the Civic. Oh, by the way, the Civic. I did post it for sale. I'm 95% sure I have a buyer for the Civic already. He is going to go ahead and take just the Civic, not the turbo stuff. He wants to build a track car out of it, and fortunately enough for me, he's a subscriber of this channel. He doesn't live too far from me, so I'm very excited that he'll be able to take it, and him and his son are going to build something cool with it. So if I do get more videos of it or see the progress of it, I'll definitely let you guys know. But currently, as of now, the Civic is on jack stands. All of the turbo stuff's off of it. It's pretty much been returned back to how it was when I first swapped to the B series. My family mover, my 2015 Suburban, the transmission was acting a little weird in that. So I don't know how you guys feel about me posting maybe a tech series about building a 6L80 transmission, which is what's in those Suburbans. I know that's completely far off of this channel's usual content, but I do plan on working on that, possibly supercharging that truck later on down the road. So I don't know, maybe I'll throw it in here somewhere so you guys can learn something about a Chevy. But anyway, that's beside the point. Today I am going to be working on the Lexus. I do have some shock cartridges to replace the ones that are in the Lexus now, because that thing rides like complete garbage. Any bump it sees, and the suspension is just like doing this forever, and my tires are bouncing off the ground. It's ridiculous. So I don't have it here. Let me pull it on up over here, show you guys what I got, kind of show you guys how to pull them off. I'm not going to show you every little bit and piece how to pull everything off. I'll just briefly go over it, otherwise this video is going to be an hour long. So yeah, let's just get right into it. Alright, you'll have to excuse my landscaper with the blower back there going crazy, but figured I'd start on the back. Figured this is probably going to be the hardest thing to do is the back, because I've honestly never taken coilovers or installed coilovers on this car, on this type of car at all, ever. So I'll be learning here. The back strut situation looks a little different than what I'm used to, but if it's like any other car, I'm assuming I have to go in the trunk or go behind the seat to get to the top bolts that bolt the top of the coilover up together. So I'm just going to start here. Got it on jack stands as usual. I'm not going to show you guys how to do that, but this is what I did pick up. What I do like about BC Racing coilovers, and by the way, I've never actually ridden on a nice set of BC Racing coilovers. I do have coilovers on my Nissan, but they are from back in the day. But I do like that you can rebuild their entire coilover system. So it did take a while to get these. As I mentioned before, it took me a little over a month to even get these. I ordered them back on May 31st, believe it or not, and I just got them maybe a couple weeks ago. So I don't know if I can show you the part number on there. I certainly can read it to you, although it might be different. This is B0346072. I just bought, you know, obviously 2 for the front and 2 for the rear. I don't know if these things are adjustable or not. Maybe you guys in the comments can know. I'm pretty sure these are BR type coilovers, but again, I have no idea. All I know is that they're blown. And then I went on ahead and bought some, I got 2 collars for the back, because the rear one back here, there's a bolt in there, but the coilover kind of like moves around in the arm. I don't know if that's because the arm is damaged, because this side was damaged when I picked this car up, so I'm hoping nothing too serious is happening. But nonetheless, try and get the wheels off, get these coilovers out of here. Hopefully I can show you guys how to do them if you've never done them on an IS300 yourself, but you're gonna learn just like I'm gonna learn now. All right, so here's what I'm working with. I don't know if you guys know what kind of BC Racing coilovers these are. There's a part number there on the spring. I don't really know if that says much, but this is what they are. And like I said, this side, when I got this car, it was pretty well damaged. Like someone definitely was doing some donuts and swung this side into a curb or something. I mean, you can see my brake line here is all mangled up. It's supposed to be hanging up here and it's not, so I don't know, kind of is what it is. But I just kind of have it zip tied up there. So from the looks of it, this looks actually pretty similar to any other car taking off the coilovers. I'm hoping I don't have to take this bolt off down here on the bottom, but I might have to. But you do need to remove this bolt right here. And then inside the car, you can see this gets mounted up to the top there. Come inside in the trunk in the back, take out all the plastics and everything that was in here, and basically you take out all this stuff right here that's sitting on the ground. Probably don't have to take all this stuff out, but I don't like to work so hard, so there's these little tie down things that are held on by some 10mm screws. Remove those, remove all the various clips, and voila, you can see the top of the coil over here. So it's just got three screws here, and from the looks of this looks pretty bad already. Like this thing right here, I don't know if you can see it, but I can get a closer look at it. You can see that the top of this thing is all like tweaked up. I don't know if that's supposed to look like that or not. I know the other side is nice and flat, so that makes me a little nervous already. Hopefully that's something that doesn't affect it too much, but we'll see. So yeah, these three look like 14mm, and then the one on the bottom, and then we can get these coilovers out of here. This right side came out pretty easily. Sorry, I have to deal with the sunlight, guys. But like I said, over here on the bottom, all it has, you can see all the grime and stuff. I'm pretty sure these things are leaking. All it had was these little washers right here on the side. I'm hoping that these things I bought, you can't really, I'll pull them out the bag in a minute. I hope they slide into the collars here and provide the right kind of spacing. But nonetheless, at the top I was telling you, see how this thing is kind of crooked, that little washer or whatever the heck that is. I don't know if that's going to be problematic. I might be able to put it in a vise and squeeze it back flat, I hope, or hit it with a hammer to get it flat. At least I'm hoping I can. But anyway, let me pull the other one out, and then we can go on ahead and pull these apart and try to stick the new shot cartridges in there. I've got my setup here of what I think I'll need, or what I hope. I don't need anything else, to pull these things apart and get these new shot cartridges in there. As I mentioned before on the car, and this further verifies, this is the left coilover, and you can see it has these little collars in it, ones that slide in and out. So I bought two new ones because the right side had nothing in it at all. They were just using these little washers in between here for spacing, but that's completely wrong. So when I was tightening it down, it was basically like crushing the control arm back there. So I'm pretty sure someone hit something and they did their best to fix what they could, but still was wrong. But anyway, so these things are pretty simple. If you guys have ever messed with coilovers in any capacity, shouldn't be too hard to get them apart. I do suggest that, at least in my case, I do like where my car is sitting right now, like the height of it. So I'm going to try my best to keep it around there. So what I did was get a tape measure and measured from the top hat all over there all the way down to the bottom of this, to the top of this here metal collar. So I just measured from there to here and took that measurement and wrote it down. And it is the same for both, obviously, because the car is level. So I wrote that down on a piece of paper over here. That way I can have that handy when I go to reinstall this stuff. So you just need pretty basic tools for this. So far I can see there's a 17mm nut on the top. There's also a 14mm nut to take the adjuster off. And then I have, these are not the right coilover wrenches, you know, the ones that spin these collars down, these locking rings. These aren't for these are from like some D2 racing coilovers I had from back in the day, but they should work well enough to get the rings off. But basically all we're going to be doing is just disassembling these. This is threaded right here. This whole shock body's threaded, so pretty much all this stuff will just, in a sense, just unscrew off. So I'll unscrew this, I'll unscrew the collar, I'll unscrew this. Then I'm hoping to just pull the whole spring down the bottom. Then we can go on ahead and go to the top and remove the nut that's on top and take the top hat off and the mounting hat up there. So I'll put you guys up on the tripod and just get to work. So right here in the video, apparently I forgot to press the record button on showing you how to disassemble the coilover. So that's just my bad. I somehow do have the portion of the video that I am now reassembling the coilover, so I'm just going to jump to that. Pulling it apart is super simple. As I mentioned, you basically just unscrew the lower portion of it and unscrew everything off, take the two nuts off on the top, voila, everything is apart. It's really not that hard, so I apologize. I really thought I pressed the record button. I guess I just didn't. So let me skip you ahead now to the rest of the video, and but my bad again. Alright, so the next thing you would do is go on ahead, sorry I didn't show you, is put the bump stop on. It is a kind of a cone kind of shape. It has a small end and a big end. The small end goes facing down, so just take that all the way down there. Then you go on ahead and put this boot through here like this. So that way it's on like that. The next you'll come a washer right here you put on here. It doesn't really matter which way the washer goes. It's not, you know, any kind of beveled or anything like that. It just goes on and it only goes to where this little locking ring thing is, so it sets down like that. And then next you go on ahead and grab your spring. Make sure that the part number is, you know, the right way up. You could just slide that over everything like so. Make sure it's seated all the way down on the lower spring mount. And after that you go on ahead and put your top hat or strut mount on. If you guys are rebuilding these coilovers, these can get damaged in here because this is just rubber inside of this collar here. So these are perfectly fine. I've honestly never seen any of them damaged unless you hit something really hard, I guess. But these are perfectly fine. This just slides straight over top just like that. It cannot go down any farther than that, as far as it can go. And then basically you'll get yourself your little deal like that that sits on top, and then go on ahead and put the nut on top of it. In the middle of this there is an Allen. It's a 5mm Allen. That way you can counter hold this while you tighten this 17 up. So basically you get yourself a ratcheting wrench like so, something like this deal, or the other way around, and then you'll put that in there like this and attach something else. And that way you can tighten this up while you're holding the shaft in the middle. Otherwise the shaft would just spin around in a circle. So pretty much just take this all the way down and bottom it out until you can't tighten it anymore, and that's as far as it can go. You will need to probably change the orientation of it, possibly, depending on how it was in your car, but that's pretty much, that's it. It can't go anymore. And then
from here, you want to go on ahead and just spin this lower shock mount up until you get the spring to touch this upper mount up here. Just so it touches it. You don't want to add much preload to the spring. That way the spring can, that'll just pretty much just throw off your settings. That's a whole nother video for a different topic. Pretty much you just want to spin this up just until you engage and take the slack out of the spring. And then we can go on ahead and screw the lower collar on. All right, now that I've got this all back together, top's tightened up, I have this just screwed up enough to get the slack out of this. I'm going ahead and screw on the lower mount here. Now, like I said, when you have this in the car, say it's just like this, these bolt holes can only go one direction when they're in the car. So, say it goes like this and you bolts it up into the trunk and it's tight. Obviously, these lower mounting holes down here are going to have to be facing a certain way. So you might not be able to hold yourself exactly to what your measurements were. You might have to be off like a 1/16 of an inch or so just so you can spin this around. But nonetheless, you'll have to figure that out when you go to put it back in the car. But now, make sure you don't screw this on before you screw this part on. This has a cone shape to it. The cone shape goes face down so that it can engage into this. So you just screw this guy on first, like so, and then take your measurement so that way you can get close. For me, it was 12 inches, so from the bottom of this guy down to here, it was 12 inches, so I need to go up quite far to get it where I need to go. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that.
All right, and there you have it. Here's basically a completely rebuilt, well, not completely rebuilt, I just replaced the strut cartridge, but honestly that's all that ever really goes bad with coilovers. And like I said, fortunately BC Racing sells everything individually, so in case your lower mount gets bent or something happens to it or whatever else gets broken, you can just rebuild these things rather than buying a whole other set of coilovers. So to buy all of these shocks cost me $500, which I think is a really good deal, and it allows me to continue to use everything else in the coilover. But as you can see, I have my measurement pretty much set at 12. I am leaving this loose on purpose so that way when I go to reinstall this in the car, I can move these I can move these eyelets right here if I need to get them into the lower control arm just right. And so I will say on a quick note, if you have adjustable coilovers that have threaded shock bodies like these things are completely threaded. I know some of them don't have threaded shock bodies, but if they do, the proper way to lower and raise your car is by the lower shock mount. It always is. It's a pain because you have to remove it, spin it up, spin it down to get it to where you want, but that is how you adjust your height. You do not adjust the height by spinning these up and down. That's just changing the preload. Granted, it will raise and lower the car a little bit, but you're just changing the whole dynamic and how the coilover and the shock works. So you always want to use the lower collar to adjust the height of the car. So that's just a quick tip. So I'm gonna go ahead and get the other one rebuilt, put these back on the car, and I'm gonna get the front ones done as well. I'll probably show you guys how to take off the front ones and how to, I'm not really gonna show you how to rebuild them because they're all the same, but I can at least show you how to pull them off real quick. All right, so we're on to the front now. Got the car up in the air. I chose to do the fronts last because I think they're the easiest. However, I don't know, I might regret that now because there seems to be a lot of different brackets and whatnot are holding it on, and I don't know, up here I hope I can get it out without having to undo any of this ball joints or any of this stuff. But you can see there's a brake line, or excuse me, ABS bracket here that's holding this on, and then it's bolted just to this lower control arm right here. So like I said, I hope I don't have to take off too much stuff. Up here, it's just held on by 3 screws up here, and that's pretty much it. I'm pretty sure you guys haven't really seen the engine bay in a long time. Pretty much the Lexus has been running well. I haven't really done anything, well, I haven't done anything to the engine at all since I did the swap. I'm making just over 12.5 pounds of boost right now, and the car is feeling real strong. So like I said, I Don't know if I'll take it on the dyno anytime soon, just because the weather just is not going to be, it's not really going to put down a number I think it could make. But yeah, it's been running good, guys, just so you know. I just wanted to give you guys a close-up of this thing. Look how disgusting this is. This thing is completely seized up. I couldn't even get it to move or anything, so. But, sorry, we got the new ones over there in the box. So I'm going ahead and get these guys rebuilt. Like I said, it's the exact same process as the front. They just have same little 2 nuts on the top. Unscrew everything, clean everything up, put everything back together, and then get it back on the car. I'm not gonna bore you guys with any of that. I'm gonna go ahead and just get this done, and hopefully we can just take the car for a ride and see hopefully how much better it is. Finally, the car is back on the ground. Like I said, I didn't really change the ride height at all. Pretty much left it exactly where it was. I'm excited to go take this for a drive now to see how much better it is. This particular coilover on this side was completely seized up. It doesn't even go up or down anymore at all. Like the shock doesn't move, it's completely seized up. I don't know if there's water in it or whatever, but it definitely was bad. So, and then the back right one, if you can see, I don't know how well you can tell, but this one over here is crooked because this is the side that got hit or ran into a wall or I don't know what, and it's definitely bent. And this one over here is completely seized up, so I don't know, they're all garbage now. They're gonna go in the trash. So I did leave the stuff out of the trunk just so I can go on ahead and make some adjustments in the back. I learned that these are 30-way adjustable, so I set the fronts right now to 7. You know, 7 out of the 30, and then the rears are at 5 out of the 30. I'm gonna see how that drives. If I need to stiffen them up, I'll stiffen them up a little bit more. But yeah, let me clean up. I'm gonna take this thing for a drive. All right, I got my kid with me.
Hi.
I did initially set these to, I think, 7 and 5. 7 for the front out of 30 and 5 out of 30 in the back. But that was a little too soft, so I put the fronts to 10. I put the backs to 8. So I'm just gonna hop on the freeway now and kind of see how it drives. It's definitely way better already, so I'm excited. Yeah, let's just hop on the freeway. Glad this thing's not flopping around all over the place like it was.
Come on.
What do you think? Feels good?
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Not
so
ultra
much
stiff.
better. Before, I swear guys, this thing used to just be like flopping around like a dead fish. Now it's
Can of water.
it's way better. Of course, they just paved the roads where I'm at, so I can't really tell exactly how bad it is, but I'm hoping I hit some kind of bump and I'll be able to tell right away.
Just go to Europe and you'll see.
But so far though, it seems a lot better. So I think I'm just gonna leave it on 10 and 8 at the moment. I feel like if I go any stiffer than that, then if I hit bumps, it's probably gonna be a little aggressive. But so far, it's definitely been, it definitely is a lot better. Figure I'd give you guys a little pull real quick, give the people what they want. Just realized I forgot to film an outro for this video, but did make it back home. My fuel pressure regulator sensor was starting to kind of get all weird on me. Turns out one of the little vacuum hoses just came off, so fixed that up and everything's good now. I did end up raising the front to 12 and the back to 10. Obviously this is all going to be completely subjective. You guys might like things that ride pretty firm, while I kind of just like something that's in the middle. Especially with this car. Maybe if it was on a racetrack I could firm it up a little bit more, but just driving around town, these seems to be perfect for me. Overall, this is 100% better than what used to be on here. I am very excited and definitely recommend anyone who needs to rebuild their BC racing coilovers that you can definitely do it. It's super easy, at least on these cars or on any of the cars for that matter. But I appreciate you guys watching the video as usual.
please hit the like button. I'm learning that gets the videos kind of, you know, pushed out so that, you know, the algorithm works or whatever. And I appreciate you guys always supporting the channel as usual. I'll see you guys on the next video. Peace.